Hello everyone, my name is Trittany and I'm the reader here at the Crown and Castle Collective, where we can all be the rulers of our own kingdom that we call life. This is a pick-a-pile reading designed towards what misconceptions or what do people have wrong about you. There could be some triggers in here, of course, so just take everything with a grain of salt. This is what people would have wrong about you, so, none of this would be valid, so please, just a disclaimer there. All of my goodies are in the description box. I do have a sale going on right now for personalized readings. Highly recommend it for the price. It's a really great deal, and I love giving personalized little videos to you guys. So I love doing these. This was actually top voted on my community page. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel here, you can vote on what I post next, as well as get those coupons for those personal readings, for those sales. So all of that's in the description box. Thank you guys for joining me. We're going to go ahead and get started with the piles. All the timestamps are in the comments, like always. But collective number 1, I did all 4 of these piles black stones here because, we want to see through the smoke. We want to see through the veil. What kind of fog or haze are these people viewing you through? This misconception or this contorted version of yourself. Collective number 1, you guys have the raw smoky quartz. Collective number 2, you guys have the black obsidian arrowhead. Collective number 3, you have black kyanite. Black kyanite's pretty. I just bumped this with my nail. It kind of scared me. I'm not used to having all these candles lit. Collective number 4, you guys have the black obsidian pyramid. Yeah, all the timestamps are down below, so if numbers speak louder to you than words, if you want to skip all of the blah blah blah, by all means, go ahead, and I will see you guys, when, it's your turn. When it's your turn, you'll hear from me. All right, collective number 1, smoky quartz. All right, if you guys chose collective number 1, we're gonna take a look at what kind of misconceptions or assumptions do people make about you that aren't necessarily true, what that might look like, and who you truly are, and even who and what you are that these people know you to be. So this is supposed to be your true self. We're also going to unveil your truth at the end. So what kind of misconceptions, conceptions, or assumptions do people make about you and who you truly are? So let's go ahead. Collective number 1, if you guys have not already, please give the video a like or subscribe to vote. This video was top voted on my channel. So if you subscribe, you can vote on what videos I post next and also get those sales and discounts for the personalized readings. So we're going to get started. Collective number 1. The first card that we have is Father. So already divine masculine energy is kind of coming through. Very strong masculine energy. Maybe people could think that maybe you're a little bit controlling or you abuse your authority. Maybe you just come off as a strong masculine energy, very structured, getting a lot of Capricorn energies. But also your light attributes is that you have a talent for creating and supporting life in a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So maybe you're just Father is just typically the divine masculine, straight up kind of my words are already, this video is going to be quite a rush. This is just a leader kind of energy is what I was trying to say. Also, we have the Earth and Fire Dragon. Works with you to clear the 5th dimensional ley lines. It is time for service. When you give, you receive. So with the divine masculine energy already out here in the Earth and Fire energies, it could be hard for you to receive. People could think that maybe you're just super dense. You're not someone who's very emotional. You're just more surface level and more reactive than you are anything else. These people could just think that all you do is the same thing day after day after day. Maybe you have a really strong routine and people just think that you don't invest into anything else unless you know it's going to come back to you tenfold or something. So it could be, people could view it as a little bit, not necessarily selfish, but like you're very refined, very structured, very dense divine masculine energy. And even if you identify as a female, misconceptions that people may have, it has to do with that masculine energy. We also have number 13, follow the moon. So that again, I'm getting that this is like a very emotional, very moon watery kind of energy, and someone who follows their emotions, but I feel like that might be blocked off. That's where I tend to say that people might think that you're just kind of surface level masculine energy, where you might be more concerned about the Capricorn 3D financial energies rather than the actual father figure, someone who's able to be a strong foundation for those emotions. And I feel like you actually really do. I mean, we're going to get into your true self. And this earth and fire dragon, I mean, the dragon looks like it's beating its head against the rock and almost like angry that it is misunderstood. I feel like it's a very strong masculine energy potential within you. And it just might be like there's also Cancer energies coming through here. Man, it's kind of sad. But people get, okay. This is definitely some Venus, Capricorn, Divine Masculine, Cancer energies. These are not sign specifics, but these are all kind of the archetypes that we're dealing with here. As far as the misconception being that you're just very closed off, very in your masculine energy, but just a really misunderstood romantic at heart. Because we have follow the moon and we also have the love card, which people may think that you lead on multiple people at a time. People could think when they see you that you have kids. Maybe people think that, like, you know, maybe you had a kid and then you aren't around them as often. Maybe you prioritize your work and your personal life over your children. At least this is what people are perceiving you as, or what they may assume about you, is that you would prioritize yourself over love, over anything. Are also going to clarify this with the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Earth. Again, we have more Earth energy, no surprise. And again, there is something coming through here as far as children as well. You guys, pile number 1, you're very, very charming. You're very good looking. That is something that people cannot get wrong about you. People just might assume that you use those charms and those abilities and your superficial talents or anything that you have in the 3D realm to like kind of seduce people in. People might think that maybe you're just not looking for something loyal or something stable. That could be kind of like a Casanova energy. People misunderstand just how much of a true father figure or divine masculine energy that you can bring to the table as far as like a stable unit or a stable relationship, whether that's intimate or not. We had the 10 of Pentacles come out here that talks about progress, but also completion, since 10 is a mastery number. We have from a seed to a zygote to a full-blown tree, group, whatever it is. But there keeps coming through that message about a kid. For some of you, people think that, like, when they see you, they're like, there's no way that you don't have kids. Like, you are just so beautiful. You've had to repopulate. Or, like, maybe you are a little bit older. People, when they see you, they assume that maybe you already have a family. Maybe you're already a father. People, when they see you, they may think that you're automatically taken as well, is what I'm getting. But a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of people, except for, I feel like for some of you, there might be a couple of people in significance or one person or something. Whenever people meet you, I feel like they assume you are who you are today. They don't really look much into what made you who you are. And if people are assuming, they think that you are just shaped just like your father, you know, maybe you're just like a strong masculine. But I feel like for some of you, there's one person in particular, or a few, you know, close people that you have that really are able to see both the divine masculine and divine feminine parts of yourself. And those are the people that know your true motivations and your true intentions. I feel like what people misconceive about you is that you're just not a stable masculine energy, where you're not able to put yourself, you're not, like, they feel like you're not able to reach outside of your comfort zone, that you may like to portray that you're comfortable stepping out, but it might be all talk and no action, or all planning and no change. Another misconception is that you could lead people on. Maybe you could have a little bit of, like, some people feel like you would abandon them, or there's a fear of people being abandoned by you. And I feel like you actually have that fear as well. No one likes to be left out in the cold. I mean, I feel like you guys, pile number one, I feel like these are almost even misconceptions that you guys have about yourself. Am I about to call you out on something? But, like, honestly, I feel like this viewpoint is even almost coming from within yourself. Maybe you're worried about misconceptions that other people have about you, but maybe you could just be projecting. Again, there are trigger warnings on this video, but as far as you guys, I feel like there's a lot of stuff about, you know, that you could have dealt with your predominantly masculine father figure or grandfather figure, whatever. And feeling worthy over time, maybe like as a kid you could have felt lacking. I feel like this parent may have came around. There could have been a little bit of friction between it, or even between, you know, our family dynamics. Wow, okay, you guys, there's a lot of deep stuff I'm picking up on, but we're gonna go into the tarot, get a little bit more specific messages as far as what misconceptions or assumptions do people have about you. We have Temperance, number 14, and we also have the 9 of Swords. So, misconceptions that people have about you. I feel like, again, so these are misconceptions, what people might have wrong, take it with a grain of salt. The Temperance card in this case feels almost like, you know, the dog is up on the chair and this man is actually on the ground, and he's kind of upset about that. He's being replaced by a dog. And the women are like, nah. The women in this picture, they're like, you know, don't even complain. People may think that, oh, wow. Okay, because it also came out with the 9 of Swords. So people could think that you might actually, like, victimize yourself. Or at least try to make, people feel like you might try to make big deals out of small things. Or, you know, snowball effect. Or some people may assume that if they give you an inch, you'll take it a mile. And I feel like people could have a fear that that's you just trying to use them. Or people may think that you want something from them. Oh, you guys, I feel like there's a lot of people that are viewing you from different angles. Some people, I feel like, have a previous beef with you or like a previous disposition to who you are. And there could have been something that went wrong. And now this person's view or perception of you is almost where, like, they feel victimized by you, to the point where whenever they see you out here living your life from your perspective, they could feel like you're also trying to be, it's almost, I don't want to say that, like, you're not taking the blame, but it's like, what people assume that you don't take responsibility for the situations or the things that you put yourself in, or the relationships that you put yourself in. They could just feel like you don't own up to those things that you say or do. They could, again, feel like you're all bark, no bite. That could be an assumption that people make about you, but really, I feel like you guys pile number 1. If they catch you out on the streets, I feel like you are someone who would start swinging, okay? So I'm just saying, there's a lot of people, and I feel like I'm really getting meshed up in my words throughout your guys' pile. But this energy here, the oracle cards I'm feeling are very grounded and very loving and truly a romantic at heart and someone who's very, very soft. And I feel like the misconceptions that people have about you are very, very harsh. And I feel like there's multiple of them as well. This is coming from family perspectives, and this is also coming from a lot of social media or people that you've had a past with. The 9 of Swords, again, swords are communication energy. And the 9 of Swords is a card of anxiety as well. With Temperance, it's something that gets better over time. So you could have had family members when you were younger. I feel like family members could have made you feel, wow, some of you I'm getting have younger siblings. Some of you have younger siblings and you feel like you could have lost your importance in that. Okay, so this is a lot. This is a lot, you guys. We have the Ace of Wands, and we also have the 5 of Pentacles. Now, I did state no reversals, so I read the reverse meaning regardless. You guys are coming through with some heavier energies. Yes. A lot of you guys, if there's someone that's talking shit about you, or people who... Ooh, I feel like some people are choosing to see the bad within you because you could have had friction with someone, so whenever they do think of you, they think of how you hurt them or how you upset them. And that is clarified with the Ace of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. There could have been someone or an ex that you had that maybe you just left out in the cold. You kind of moved on. And maybe this person left because I feel like people assume that you prioritize material things or temporary comfort over long-term, stable, but risky choices. If that kind of makes sense. I feel like you guys are picking up on one person in particular in their perspective or assumptions on you. But I feel like overall people make assumptions that this progress card that came up. Again, I feel like a lot of people, when they first see you, the first assumption that they made is that you could be very self-centered. Because this progress card, it's almost like respect the journey, you know, honor your roots. And I feel like that's something that people might not recognize about you. They might just see more superficial, kind of seductive, follow your moon and emotions and love out here, which can be a very, very mind-altering drug. But people could think that there's all this attraction and fiery energy about you and around you, especially with the Temperance card is also Sagittarius, that people could say that or assume that, you know, you're kind of your biggest enemy and you kind of hold yourself back. And I feel like that's where people may think that you kind of make yourself out to be the bad guy or the villain. And that's just because I think you have so much of this potential and so much more room to grow that I feel like you guys are a little bit scared to maybe venture out, that people may assume that you're just fine in your comfort zone. I think people assume or misinterpret that you're just too timid to really go out and stand up for yourself. But it's weird again, because like I feel like if you guys were to actually like have any conflict with someone, I feel like you guys truly are fighters. But I feel like there could be some kind of childhood wound that you guys have that's kind of oozing and goozing right now, and people can see that stuff. They might make assumptions about what exactly may have happened or how it would have unfolded or affected who you are today. But I feel like it's very prevalent. You might be very aware of this if you've had any dynamics with families, close family members, parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever's in your vicinity. But it's very odd. There's not like a sense, I feel like none of you, I shouldn't say none, but I feel like some of you could have been abandoned, or they could have had like a parent walk out, and that could have really pressured you as far as like maybe your father figure walked out, kind of made you grow on your own. And so I feel like there could be a really soft spot part of you, and I feel like a majority of you are all mushy gushy on the inside, but there's some kind of really thin, extremely hard exterior to you where it's like nothing gets through, but everything beneath that is just melty, ooey gooey. And I feel like the very outside of you guys, it's not necessarily a fear of rejection, but I feel like it's a matter of your guys' priorities. I feel like you guys could be very expressive even about things that might be hard to talk about. Definitely. I feel like you guys are someone who is going to express things that upset you or could upset others. That could be really hard conversations to have. And I think that's your way of showing, you know, that you're not afraid of this progress and this growth, and that you know how much... Again, I don't know you guys, pile number one. I feel like you guys could take a few baby steps into this energy. I feel like you're faking it until you're making it almost. That could be an assumption or something that people have about you. You guys are really showing up, though, as the Queen of Cups. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energies. Again, that's kind of what I'm getting here, is that very fluid, emotional inside to you guys, but a very hard, composed exterior. And it's almost like this Queen of Cups is someone who's holding back tears, but they're still doing what they have to do. They're still going through the motions of life, no matter what obstacles they may be faced. And so I feel like people may assume that you've had obstacles taken care of for you, or maybe they don't really respect the grind or how much work and effort you've put to get into where you are today, and they may think that you use your position to maybe manipulate people or try to profit from people, or maybe even seduce and attract people. I think that people assume that, I feel like people think that you had a bad experience with one person or one situation, and it like ruined everything else for you regarding that. And people could see you as just very closed off. Someone who takes their time, that will eventually, I feel like people think that you're like, you come back around as well. Or that could be a misconception, is maybe that people think that you are someone who plays like hard to get and that always comes back. Well, that was a really bumpy reading, collective number one. I do want to thank you if you've made it through this video with me. I tried my absolute best. This is a very different style reading, and these energies coming through for you guys are very prominent and kind of heavy, if I might add. So I hope you guys are really taking care of yourselves, mental, physical, emotional health, your spiritual well-being. If you feel like any part of this reading resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments. You can give the video a like or subscribe to vote on what videos I post next, just like this one was. Also, yeah, The goodies are in the description box, like always, if you want any of those personalized readings for a discount. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Okay, so I just totally remembered, luckily, before you guys go, collective number 1, we are going to draw a couple of runes here and take a look at what those misconceptions might be that people have about you. Collective number 1, what kind of misconceptions do people have about you? Collective number 1, what kind of misconceptions do people have about you? Okay, so the first rune that came out does not surprise me because of the heavier energies that have been felt throughout your guys' reading. This is the rune of like war and conflict, or just some kind of misunderstanding, oppositions. And then we also have, I don't know the technical terms for runes, I'm still learning, but in this rune, it makes me feel like as far as where you are in life, when people see you, they could assume that maybe you're just not happy with where you are in life. Maybe you would like to be on a different timeline or showing up differently in your life right now than how you are. Also, some kind of like inner struggle. Yeah, I feel like, again, people assume that you're your own worst enemy. They don't think that anyone's actually out to get you, even though you might feel or think that like people have misconceptions about you. But again, I feel like you guys are showing up as your own inner conflict, you know? We also have yeah, I don't know the technical terms, so we'll just kind of go through. This one almost looks like a flag for me, so this one always throws up like a red flag right underneath that conflict and war rune. And we also have this one that kind of looks like a timer, a sand time. So this is something I feel like you guys have maybe been aware of this over time. If you want to know what people truly think of you, I think you might want to look at a first impressions tarot video, which I do have. This one is actually supposed to be misconceptions, but it might be what people... I feel like people have somewhat of an understanding of you, but these misconceptions are just very exaggerated versions of those, which, you know, they typically are. People who have any kind of glimpse into our life on social media have somewhat of an understanding of who we are, but they may take it to another level or exaggerate parts of your character. We'll get two more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like this is something that, you know, you've been working on over time, or maybe something that you've been aware of for quite some time. Then we have the rune of clarity, kind of reminds me of a sword. So this is kind of like cutting through the bullshit, you know, actually Page of Swords energy, starting to stand on your own with this rune, as well as really being open to spirit and being open to raising your vibration and grounding that into your 3D world and seeing that in your day-to-day life and actually standing up for yourself. And I feel like a lot of you just feel like you aren't very good with words. And there could be a certain situation where you're just going to have to stand up and speak up for yourself. I feel like you already do kind of stand in the spotlight. It's just that the things that you speak up about, your perception of those things could be skewed due to your personal upbringing, if that makes sense. So take these messages, like I said, with a grain of salt. So if you enjoyed it, let me know. You know the instrucciones. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Collective number 2, what is up? We are going to look into what kind of misconceptions or assumptions, what do people have wrong about you? Pile number 1 did kind of get really weird as far as kind of their own misconceptions about themselves. It was kind of more inward. We're going to try to tap more into what people have wrong about you. I don't know. This is a really odd reading. Was actually the top voted on my channel. So thank you for everyone who did do that. I hope that I can perform to the best of my abilities for this reading, because the last pile was a little bit complicated. All right. Well, all of the goodies are in my description box. If you feel like I'm resonating with you as a reader, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you're interested, I do the personalized readings. And there are some coupon codes, so to say. So, thank you guys. We're going to get started. Pile number 2. What do people have wrong about when it comes to you? Okay, so I hope this does not go down the same rabbit hole that pile number 1 did. The first card that you guys have is Mother. So the light attributes of this card is nurturance, patience, and unconditional love, joy in bringing birth to life. Now, if this is a misconception that people have about you, it could have to do with either, the feminine traits within you, your motherly traits, or your ability to nurture. So the shadow attributes are smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. That last line hit, though. Instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So it's kind of like a smothering kind of energy. Again, take these messages as they resonate. These are what people have wrong about you. So people could think that, you're a heavy blanket, that you're just someone who smothers and gives and gives and gives. We also have Emerald Dragon, which is another green heart chakra energy. And it brings in healing and cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. Align with your 5th dimensional blueprint. So, with that Emerald Dragon, I am just getting more of that heart chakra, mother kind of energy coming through. We also have number 19, Know You Belong. We have Purification. And the 3 of Cups, Imitate. So what kind of misconceptions do people have about you? People could think that, okay, I'm getting for some of you, you might really like to embrace the feminine side of yourself, the motherly, divine feminine, and maybe you like to get all dressed up, you like to get pretty, do your makeup, look really cool with like super cute outfits, and post on social medias. Some people, what they have wrong about you is that you could be just trying to do that stuff to fit in with society, or to, try to gain followers and have people like you, is what I'm getting. With the Purification, it's kind of like wanting to stand out from the crowd, but deep down inside, there's something that needs to really be looked at and healed on a deeper level. And I don't know why this reading keeps trying to make it about you guys, the viewers. It's trying to deep dive on me. We want to know what misconceptions people have about you. It's almost like it's trying to vouch for you. It wants you to know what parts of you these misconceptions could be bringing in. So with this Know You Belong card is kind of what I was getting about as far as trying to like fit into society. And with the 3 of Cups, Imitate. So people could think that maybe you're just being fake. I feel like people just think that you are fake. People could think that you're just in it for the money, is what I'm getting as well. Like maybe you date people for money too. Or you are like emotionally manipulative as well. Maybe you can get people to do what it is that you want. Yeah, okay, so this is, I feel like there's not a lot of people that have misconceptions about you. So I don't feel like it's a lot of people that are thinking this about you. I feel like this could be a small handful of people. And it's probably these people that think that you're manipulative or that you could manipulate people are the people that probably would have fell under your guys' spell. Because honestly, you guys are showing up as a mother feminine energy with the emerald dragon. And all of this water energy in earth, I feel like, is a very beautiful, quite grounded, gentle kind of energy. And I feel like whoever's having these misconceptions about you could be someone who is easily in love with you. All right, we're also going to get some tarot cards to clarify this. We also have the King of Cups. We also have the Seven of Wands. As far as what misconceptions people have about you, they could think that you're like a controlling boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other. People could think that you have your close eye on your significant others. So, people, another misconception that they have about you is that they think, because I feel like you guys are already showing up as such water energy, very emotional, yet grounded, divine feminine energies, even if you are someone who identifies as a masculine or a male, people assume that because you feel so deeply about who you are or maybe things that you have in life, that when you stand up for those things that you believe in, or you make yourself become vulnerable in certain ways, that people take that for weakness. People misunderstand your strength for weakness, if that's like literally as an oxymoron, but people see your vulnerability, literally your ability to love and to be different and be open and expressive about who you are. People just totally misconstrue that for weakness. And honestly, I feel like that's just because these people don't feel confident in who they are enough to really stand up and express and grow outside of their own comfort zone. Pure and simple. You guys are like a cut of pie versus pile number one. I don't know what happened to them. I need to talk to them. We also have the World, and we have the Knight of Cups. More water sign energy. This is supposed to clarify here. The King of Cups, again, the World. So there is, he's stuck in a bubble or a marble or some kind of thing in there. And she's also stuck in the World. So this is just clarifying that you push people outside of their comfort zone. And it's almost like you want people to feel loved and to feel safe in this kind of, I was going to say transferring, but that's not the right word. You want people to feel loved and accepted during these kinds of transitions. Maybe you've gone through a couple of transformative stages in your own life that people misunderstand your support. And I feel like you are so supportive of these changes and of these parts of yourself, that you're so accepting of your own insecurities, that the Seven of Wands is just like so superficial. So his brain's literally getting lifted outside of his head. Sorry if you can't really see this. I know these cards are super dark. His brain's literally getting lifted out of his head. And I feel like when people try to face things that they're uncomfortable with in regards to you, that they avoid it. They almost like switch it off. So people could have assumptions about you that whenever you're faced with something that's against your interest or against your own viewpoint, people may assume that you just turn off like that. Because I think that you feel so strongly about the things that you love and that you're passionate about in life, that whenever you get opposed by something or someone who doesn't like the same ideas or doesn't have the same ideas, people will assume that you become really defensive and that you might shut people off if they don't agree with what you're doing in life, or if you don't agree with what they're doing in life. And I feel like that this may not, again, there's some salt being thrown out here, but I feel like a lot of these misconceptions, like I said in pile number 1, are, these people probably know us in our real life, so they probably have some idea of who we actually are, but when it comes to their misinterpretations or the things that they have wrong, they're usually just exaggerated forms of ourself. So the misconception that this person has is that you will cut anyone out that doesn't agree with you, that doesn't believe and see things the way that you do, people that aren't moving the same way that you are or going in the same direction. So I feel like people just get the idea that you can be, I get very Scorpio water vibes. There's two ends of the spectrums for you guys. I feel like the misconceptions that people have is that there's a good side to you and there's a bad side to you. And if you're on the bad side, then, you're just completely SOL, locked out, no communication. And if you're on the good side, then you're probably getting smothered and just people feel like you might not set the best boundaries. But at the same time, you could set up a whole fucking border wall. So, I don't know. These are just, again, they may be more exaggerated forms of ourselves. Maybe you can relate to this. Maybe there's someone on the outside looking in right now at you that they just feel cut out, and that, yeah. We're going to leave that there for you guys. And we're going to get one more card here to take a look at your true self. And who do these people that have misconceptions about you, how do they see yourself for who you truly are? We have the 7 of Wands out here twice. So this is the more traditional look of the 7 of Wands. Yeah. Wow. So people definitely see you as a true leader. And again, I feel like you guys have all of this water, kind of earth, divine feminine energy. I feel like you guys have that, and I feel like it's very vulnerable right now, or it's very overactive. It could be, or it's just plain out active. It feels like there's a lot of emotions going on with these conceptions about you, which can definitely get things misinterpreted. But the 7 of Wands is someone who's really able to stand up for themselves or stand up for the small guy, and also people who aren't afraid to be themselves and to be innovative and to be creative, and maybe even have to fight a couple of people to make their way to the top. So another misconception that people could have about you is that for some of you, people might think that you socialize a lot, that maybe you drink a lot, maybe you're out socializing a lot, making public appearances, always trying to stand out. People could think that maybe you try to draw attention to yourself because maybe you didn't receive that from a parent as a child, or maybe you try to draw attention to you because, maybe you just didn't have friends in high school, or maybe people didn't really understand you growing up. And so now that maybe if you're older, you could be trying to refine and define who you are as a person and stand up for like-minded individuals. The 7 of Wands can be a quite conflicting card as well. So again, I feel like there are a lot of disagreements. You could be someone who's very progressive in the world today as far as human rights, stuff like that, or animal rights, anywhere in between all of that kind of humanitarianism. And people could think that you invest yourself so much into those projects because maybe you were deprived of that as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, or in previous years even. But people see you as a very strong-minded individual, and I feel like that's just because your emotions run so deep for you guys that it's almost like, some of you guys can get real mood swings. I'm feeling it. That it's almost like a numbing effect. That maybe when you do get bumped into things that maybe you don't agree with or challenges in life. I feel like maybe you guys don't, maybe you need some time to work through those things. Maybe you don't know what to do right away, and that's okay. People might make assumptions that you're not, if you're not acting, then maybe it's just because you're not facing your emotions or facing your feelings, or maybe people may think that you avoid your problems. I feel like that's a really big misconception that they have, is that if there's something that challenges your opinion or authority, that you just shut down. But really, you might be getting your ducks in a row with this Seven of Swords, as you're trying to think of your comeback. You know, how are you going to overcome and flow around this obstacle in the most healing and beneficial, responsible way? But people may mistake that for kind of this side-to-side emotional imitation, when really you're just, you know, inching your way forward. And I feel like you guys are kind of like in a slingshot momentum, where you're being kind of pulled back right now in order to go forward. So I really hope that resonated with you guys, pile number 2. If it did, please let me know down in the comments. I love to read them and see what's kind of going on with you. And yeah, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All of the goodies are in the description box. If you're interested in any personal readings by me, they are on sale for New Year's. So those are really good deals. Also, yeah, I mean, I just don't really feel like going through the whole spiel again. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you next time. I just remembered, you guys still have runes to do. I almost forgot with pile number 1 as well. So we're going to just draw a couple of runes to clarify what kind of misconceptions that people are having about you. What misconceptions do people have about collective number 2? What misconceptions do people have about collective number 2? Okay, what kind of misconceptions do people have about collective number 2? I think people just find you very defensive. You could have a resting bitch face, not gonna lie, which is just kind of like where you naturally kind of have an unapproachable look to you, just a very dominant look, which is weird. But we have, I don't know the technical terms for the runes yet. I'm still learning, so these are quite intuitive. This one kind of looks like a flag to me, and also a sword. So this could be someone who's just very defensive, communicatively. People could sorry, there was a bird. I don't know if you could see it on camera. There's a ding. Wait, I went too far. Ding. That's a bird feeder that we just hung out. And the birds are going crazy. Okay. So, again, people just feel like you're a little bit defensive. Maybe if you like to have strong debates with people, they would have to be really careful. I feel like you're just a very stoic person. You don't maybe show a lot of emotion on your face. You could be really hard to read. What kind of other misinterpretations do people have about you? Okay. Over time, there's a message coming out that over time you really surprised people with who you became. I feel like maybe as if you've known some people over time, I feel like in the earlier stages of your life, people could have seen you as just very defensive or angry all the time. And then you might have had a certain situation in your life that really changed you for the better, that really helped you, you know, feel more safe within yourself, that you didn't have to be so defensive, and that you could really open up to those who were at least closest to you. That could have been a very big step. I'm getting a lot of you could have, you know, misconceptions about you could be that I don't know. I'm I'm not really getting misconceptions, yo. I keep picking up on, like, who you guys truly are today. And I feel like, you know, you might just be a little bit colder on the outside, but on the inside, you guys know who you truly are. You know, I feel like you see people for who they truly are, whether that's a person or even just, like, down to plants and animals. Again, you guys felt like very spiritual people, and I feel like over time you've really developed who you are as a person, and I feel like you've overcame a lot of challenges that you may have had in your personality that may have shut you off from certain people or experiences. And I hope you guys continue to heal and work on that. So thank you. I'm so sorry I forgot about to do the runes. I always forget, so I'm going to try to remember next time before I get out of the flow of everything. See you guys next time. Alright, collective number 3. This is your reading if you chose the Black Kyanite. As far as what kind of misconceptions or what do people have wrong about when it comes to you? Now, it seems like this reading's kind of hard. I think I've done this reading before. For some reason, it's showing us the truth to you in a way. It's just that people may not understand this truth, or people may have misconceptions about you and your truth. And a lot of these people, you know, we know them in our day-to-day life, where they have us on social media, where they might have some understanding of who we are on a superficial level. This could just be an exaggerated version of that as well. So now that I kind of cleared the air with that, it's been an interesting reading, so just bear with me here. And if you feel like I do resonate with you as a reader anywhere throughout this video, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. You can vote on what videos I post next. This one was actually the top voted video on my channel, so thank you for everyone who participated. Without further ado, we are also going to get into your reading. So, collective number 3, what kind of misconceptions do people have about you? We have Prince in the reverse. So the shadow attribute says, using power for self-aggrandizement. So the light attribute is romantic charm and potential for power. So the Prince in reverse could be someone who tries to be charming just for kind of like a self-gain. Now, you don't have to be a prince or a male. This could just be a young masculine energy that may not know quite how to refine or direct their own energies. We also have Pure White Dragon from Orion, transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Process what you know, act with truth and honesty, let your wings of light grow and expand. So, people definitely see you out in some kind of spotlight as a prince, and we also have the purple dragon from Orion, so purple rain, whatever. People could see you as very retro. That's interesting. And people could see you as a very flexible, masculine, feminine kind of energies, or like you're just very balanced in that matter. Ooh, we do. Okay, so we also have number 34, reveal your truth. There is some kind of masking energy going on here, where it's almost like people know that you are true and you are pure. People see that there is some kind of facade or some kind of mask that you might be wearing right now, and whether that's some kind of dark shadow part of you that's kind of in the forefront right now that you might be working with. People might not quite understand that kind of deep soul work, so that could be hard for them to grasp. They could just think that maybe your masculine energies are out of balance and that you could be using some kind of deceptive, self-profiting agendas, kind of, you know, only concerned with yourself. Also, with this reveal your truth, again, I feel like people really find you respectable. There's just something mysterious about you that people cannot put their thumb on. We also have transformation. There's something about light and dark right now going on here that's kind of spooking me out. Some misconceptions or what people have wrong about when it comes to you. I feel like when you make the hardest choices in your day-to-day life, or, you know, milestone decisions you've had to make, some big decisions you've had to make in your life, I feel like people may not have understood you in those moments and how much you prioritized yourself in those decisions that you made. And I feel like that's not a bad thing. I feel like you can be selfish. I feel like you're selfish, but people don't understand the positive side to that of, you know, taking care of yourself and putting yourself first and, you know, looking out for yourself, essentially. I feel like people may take that for selfishness. Honestly, that is the message that is coming through. And I'm getting you're selfish when it matters, when, you know, you need to push yourself for big decisions in your life that are going to transform your reality. And people might think that, you know, you're operating behind some kind of shadow or some alternative agenda. But really, I feel like you guys are making these hard choices and hard decisions for yourself, for your own soul development, and to even grant other people involved in that choice or that development with gifts of opportunities of new transformation. Wow, you guys. People don't understand anything really of what or why you do the things that you do. You guys are very mysterious, but also with this pure white dragon from Orion, and we do have some Prince kind of energy out here, that you guys are very, very high soul energies, very developed soul energies, and you're meant to hit these big target points in life and maybe not be the character that other people are expecting you to play in those scenarios. Ooh, it's kind of... it's very challenging. It honestly is. And it's kind of a Scorpio kind of energy behind the shadows, but overall making those tough calls for the overall soul transformation and development. But people may take that as you trying to come from some shady alternative standpoint where maybe you're only looking out for your self-interest and maybe you have like a backup family or something like that. And I threw the card. We also have the Eight of Pentacles, exploration. Again, people cannot figure you out for the life of them. Now, this could be... this misconception is that you're such an enigma in your very private personal life, probably, that it bothers certain people that they cannot get to you. They can't know everything about you. Maybe they feel like you're reserved, or you're kind of... oh, well, yeah, you're private, you're reserved, you're just hard to reach, hard to get to, and people could think that you're trying to hide something. People think that you're someone who hides in plain sight, even. People could get misconceptions about you that you're unloyal as well. Plain and simple as that. People with this Prince in reverse, that's kind of like, oh, I'm Prince Charming, and yet he's like arranged in a marriage already or something. And people could think that maybe there's two sides to you, or that you're two-faced and that you talk to people behind other people's back. Stuff like that. Now, these are misconceptions. Take them with a grain of salt. Okay? We're going to get a couple of clarifications here with the tarot. Oh, it's quite sad. We have the Three of Wands. And this is a very aggressive card in this deck. I know this lighting is a little bit hard to see. But he's like smacking him. And he's like trying to, I don't know, the Three of Wands. is a very interesting, I don't know, for some reason. Okay, the Three of Wands definitely comes through as like a third party energy, and that's kind of what I'm getting through here is like some weird 18 up reading stuff. Okay. The Three of Wands, though, can be a non-committal energy, a third party, where third parties aren't always another person in like a love triangle. Third parties can be work, hobbies, anything on your plate that you could prioritize so much that it could, you know, come in between you and another person, or you and your relationships, where it's like you prioritize all these other things that you have to do, and that could become a little bit crowded, or some people can become a little bit jealous or feel neglected that maybe you're not paying enough attention or time with these people, that maybe, you know, you're off doing something else that's just kind of like hidden or shady or something. Like people want to know how you make your money, or people think or make assumptions that maybe you make money doing something dark and something that you don't put out in the public. We also have the Nine of Wands, so both wands, a lot of fire energy. A lot of misconceptions that people have about you is that you could have like a woe is me kind of energy. People could think that, you know, honestly, when you might just be trying to express yourself and talk about your day and how hard it's been or something like that, people might take that for you just trying to complain or trying to look for someone to come and save you. And I feel like it's kind of like a damsel in distress kind of energy, but they know you don't need the help, or like that you can stand up for yourself. But the misconceptions, I would say, yeah, people think that you don't know how to say no. People think that you don't know how to say no to like third party situations. If you're in a relationship and someone slides into your DMs, people think that they could just hit it off with you like that. That might not be the case, but that's just some misunderstanding conceptions that people have about you. We also have more wands out here. Oh, wow. So this is definitely clarifying. I don't know why I don't flip these over at the same time. This is my new deck, so I can't really read it as well yet. But the Three of Wands, like I was talking about, may not be like a third-party situation with a love triangle, but we also have the Seven of Pentacles out here, which is talks about the hard work, the grind that goes into making the recipe. I feel like you guys are really hard workers. And I feel like you guys are really worth investing into yourself. And maybe some of you came from, okay, I'm getting some of you guys may have came from a financially stable background. And it was up to you to make your own way, to pave your own way. And so you invest so much of this time and energy into maybe your job, your career, your education. But people think that you only do this stuff I don't know. There's just some kind of burden about having to, you know, invest yourself so heavily, or maybe you put a lot of pressure on yourself, or you set a lot of expectation for yourself. And I feel like that has a lot to do with your shadow side. But you guys are someone who's constantly changing and trying to reach those goals and trying to change and transform yourself to reach the finer things in life, and to explore who you truly are and explore how far you can go in this life. But people may take that for people just might misunderstand that drive that you have, honestly, because it looks like the Three of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. That you invest so much time and energy into your work that you kind of leave everyone else hanging. Where it's almost like you would rather do everything on your own. People don't really see you as a team player. So that could be a misconception that people have about you, is that you're, again, there could be that selfishness where you are kind of in your own bubble. And I feel bad saying that because it's okay to be selfish. It's not okay to be narcissistic. Okay, there's a fine line. We're going to take a look here at this last card that's supposed to show you and who you truly are. And even these people that have misconceptions about you, how they see and feel about your true authentic self. So we have the Scorpio card, we have Death out here, which talks very, very clearly about these two cards as I was getting into the transformation and reveal your truth. There is kind of a shadow aspect to you guys, but also a very, a dark prince, if you will. The Death card talks about those transformations of, you know, dying off and starting anew. But it's not something that happens overnight. This is something that happens over years. And so people get misunderstandings about you. People let me get this message here. There's something coming through about people that you have known for years. There could be people that you've known long term that they probably have seen this shadow side of you come and go throughout the years, but it's always something that you've evolved and you've overcame and you've integrated into your life. And I feel like there could be something, there could be a very big project that you guys have, or career, education, something that you're devoting a very big chunk and part of your life and investments into. And that could make people nervous because they feel like you're constantly changing and you're constantly evolving, where if these people aren't meeting you at your level, I feel like their conception is of just how private you are, that you actually might remove yourself, that you're kind of a loner as well. With this Nine of Wands is someone who stands on the sidelines, a wounded warrior kind of energy, and also with the Ten of Swords coming right after, someone who's gonna not ask for help, someone who's better off on their own. At least this could be what people think of you. Maybe this is a misconception that maybe you're better off, or you feel like you're better off in relationships or communities, but people think that you are someone who is not a team player. And again, if people have seen you develop over time, they've seen just how strong you've actually became on your own, and just how much drive and potential you have is enough to make you accomplish these goals of your own single-handedly. And that people might not know what it is or how it is that you're accomplishing these things. And I feel like that just adds more to people's lure towards you and your energy. But their misconceptions could be that that you could be very seductive and very balanced, but at the same time there could be an alternative motive to you, or a darker side to you, or maybe an alternative personality that you have, which is kind of weird. But not like in a bad way, but people just think that you're a heartbreaker, honestly. People think that if they let you in, that you're gonna make them face some deep, dark part of themselves that maybe they're not ready to upheave yet. And you're so strong on your own, and this, you know, this soul refinement and soul development stuff is so easy for you that this person might feel, people might feel a little bit intimidated by your spiritual strength, that it could make people, you know, feel a little bit inferior. Or just not as wise or not as strong for you. Again, I feel like some people just have that misconception that maybe committed relationships just aren't really that thing. And if they're not your thing, I feel like it is just because you're someone who is very independent in their own energy, maybe has other priorities as well, or maybe I feel like you guys could have gotten screwed over in past relationships, and maybe you got made out to look like the bad guy and you never really got to explain your side of the story. And I feel like that's definitely prevalent, could be with your situation. So I think that's really all I am getting for you guys, collective number 3. If you feel like this video resonated with you, please let me know. This was a really challenging video for me, so I'm glad yours was able to flow a little bit more. But if it resonated with you anywhere throughout that, give the video a like or subscribe to actually vote on what videos I post next. This video was top voted, so if you do that, it's almost like getting a free reading from me. And if you do want a personalized reading, I do offer those, and they are on sale right now for New Year's. So go ahead and check all of that out in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and as we scoot over, before I forget, we're trying to do runes in this video. I've forgotten every pile so far and had to come back and do it. So, collective number 3. We're just going to get a couple of runes and take a look at what kind of misconceptions do people have about you. Collective number 3. What misconceptions or what do people have wrong about collective number 3? What do people have wrong about collective number 3? What do people have wrong about collective number 3? So I'm still learning runes. I do not know the technical terms for these letters yet, so this is very intuitive reading. People may get misconceptions that if you are someone who is deeply spiritual or someone who's very religious by any means, people may think that you use that in order to avoid your relationships, like your personal relationships. People may get misconceptions that you also gossip, is what I'm getting. Like, you might not talk out publicly, but people may think that you don't have very kind words. People are afraid of, like, what you would say to them. A big misconception that people may have about you is that people may think that you are very stubborn, that you are, comfortable and safe in your comfort zone, but really you're open to a lot of new experiences. You're someone who's willing to go out on a whim, and I feel like you are very spontaneous, actually. But some people might think that you're a stick in the mud. What other misconceptions do people have about collective number 3? What other misconceptions do people have about collective number 3? So I feel like this has kind of been prevalent throughout the tarot cards that came up. I feel like you guys, you're self-starters, you're self-starters, you're self-movers, you're kind of on your own timeline and do what you want to do when you want to do it, clearly. So people might think that I think that you finally are at this stage, but people may think that, again, there's kind of like a selfishness to it, where you only do whatever it is that you want to do when you want to do it, and you're not going to do it on anyone else's terms. You're gonna do it on your terms for you, everything like that. But I feel like it's that kind of boundaries and motivation, confidence and belief that you have in yourself, in the time and investment that you've put into yourself, that has allowed you to finally start, maybe broadening your horizons or letting more people in, exploring new things or new options outside of your comfort zone that maybe you might have not done so much in the past. And again, I feel like for some of you, there's people that have misconceptions about you that you have known your whole life, and they still can't quite figure you out. We go our whole lives just trying to understand who we are. We think that we can get someone figured out and summed up after knowing them for like 10 years. But anyways, regardless, I hope those runes even resonated with you as we try to do new things here on the channel. So thank you everyone who has joined me. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Alright, collective number 4. If you chose the Black Obsidian Pyramid, this is your reading. We're going to take a look at what kind of misconceptions or what do people have wrong about when it comes to you. Now, this has been a very challenging reading, so if you viewed any of the other piles, you've seen it. But this is kind of giving us an insight more of to your actual truth of who you are. But this could be how people can misconstrue those truths or over-exaggerate those. Because, we probably know a lot of these people in our real lives, or they have some kind of insight to who we are through our social media. So these could just be exaggerated characteristics that people see and misunderstand about you. So we're going to get started. Collective number 4. If you guys feel like I resonate with you anywhere throughout the video, go ahead and smash the like, leave a comment, or subscribe and vote on what videos I post next. This one was top voted, so I'm happy to deliver collective number 4. What kind of misconceptions do people have about you? The first card that came out is Beggar in the reversed. So, the Beggar says, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. The shadow attributes are dependence on others to exclusion of effort. Dependence on others. Okay. So people, the misconceptions that they have about you, I'm going to get a couple more cards here with that. We also have the Earth and Air Dragon, represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. We also have 24, let 2 become 1, adds up to a 6. We also have Simplicity. Alright, so I'm gonna get this last card here. We have the 4 of Wands, or the 4 of Fire. Recovery. Interesting. So, some assumptions that people may have about you could be that maybe you're frivolous with your money. Maybe you're someone who does not know how to save their money. Maybe people think that you date or you look for money or financial stability in your partners, your intimate partners, or maybe with your family. Also, people assume, I feel like people make assumptions that they almost can't rely on you. People make assumptions that maybe they cannot rely on you to... Oh, there is something quite odd here. For some of you, I feel like there's a significant person. There could be, 1 or 2 people. There could be someone that you had a falling out with in the past. And I feel like that this has to do with spirit, this fallout that you may have had with this person. I feel like you might have even cold turkey, cut yourself and cut this person out of your life. And these people might feel like they cannot even rely on you or reach out to you to say hello or to do the bare minimum. And I feel like spirit has created this gap between you and this person for a reason. Now, we're not doing the reading for that significant thing, but there's some people that feel like, because this beggar came out in reverse. You know, if someone was a beggar and they were upright, could be someone who was like, you know, in my opinion, just someone who could always be trying to out and hustle, but that's not really what I'm trying to get with it in reverse. It's almost like you don't compete for other people's attention. You don't compete for anyone's time or space. You are completely fine out on your own, but people may get a misconception from you that because of how, you know, self-sustained you are, that you don't require anything from anyone and that you're just fine on your own. People might just think that you're off limits, is what I'm getting. People might get the misconception that you're off limits. For some of you, if you have a significant other, then, you know, of course, it could be simple as that. But for some of you that are single or looking or any kind of identifying range, whatever, people would automatically assume that you're taken. And I feel like people are just so smitten with you. I feel like people fall in love with you very, very easily. There's a really balanced masculine energy kind of coming through as well. We also have the Four of Wands Recovery. I've never seen this card in this deck yet. And the Four of Wands kind of brought up that energy for me. The Four of Wands traditionally is 11-11. Gives you, you know, 4. But again, there's kind of like a breakup, a removal energy. People get misconceptions about you, of how you deal with conflict. People could think that you gossip a lot, or if you get upset about something, that instead of changing it, you might go out and do or say other things with other people to kind of avoid those things. Wow. I feel like, as odd as this sounds, people get misconceptions about your day-to-day life. We're gonna get a couple of tarot cards to hopefully like define this, because I do feel like it's a day-to-day thing. It's so minimal, and it's something that man, I feel this energy. Okay, we're gonna get a couple clarifiers here for what kind of misconceptions people have about you, or what do they have wrong about you. We have the 9 of Cups, and we also have Death. So wow. People have misconceptions about, again, with you and money. I feel like they don't see you as someone who's out there like trying to scam people or anything, but it's like you always want more. People could think that if you're not happy with what you have, then you just chuck it out. And I feel like that's not the case. I feel like any kind of connections that you could have had in the past with any other people that may have went wrong, or maybe there was some kind of disagreement or conflict, that you had to create space between you and this trigger. I feel like spirit actually separated you for the better. And in this moment of recovery, or this time of separation that you may have, this person could be thinking that you're out doing or saying other things when really you're not. I feel like you could be someone who's very, you know, goes inside. Man, there's a lot of birds out and it's starting to snow again. Oh, okay. In this time apart, the birds outside are so Alright, you guys, I have 30 seconds to finish this video. So, misconceptions people have about you is that you might be a little bit aloof, kind of removed from your day-to-day life. Maybe your heads are always kind of up in the clouds. And that if you're not happy with something, that you kind of just, you know, throw it out and move on. But I'm feeling like that's not it. I feel like you guys do have a lot of emotions. Wow, we have the Moon card, the Nine of Cups, and also Death, which is Scorpio, water energy, with the Hanged Man, Virgo. Wow. Okay, so if you guys aren't happy with anything, it's not that you throw it away. I feel like you guys actually go through a really long time of review before you decide to make any kind of final. Alright, pile number 4. I did plug in my SD card and kind of uploaded stuff, so I had to have a little bit more time with you and your reading. I really want to take my time. I feel like I typically do rush through these readings, which I do. I've already filled up my SD card, so I always feel like after I do the reading and then I get more messages and wish I could have said more. So we're going to slow down a little bit, kind of retract maybe what I was just saying. There was this sense that these people have a notion that you get yourself into situations where you might Sorry, you could hear my dog chewing on his toy. Can you take that somewhere else? Can you go play somewhere else? He thinks I'm trying to play with him. So many distractions, you guys. Which I feel like, again, people think that you could be aloof. You could be someone who's in recovery from past situations. Maybe you get yourself into sticky situations that you thought would be so black and white, but turns out they're not so black and white. So people could see you kind of getting yourself into trouble or into predicaments in the same situations that you always find yourself in. We had the Moon card out here with the Hanged Man, which I feel like you're, again, someone who goes through phases. I gotta get this dog out of here. Go take that somewhere else. It's loud. Sorry about that. So, you're really someone to sit with something and ask how it makes you feel before you kind of just get rid of it. And I feel like you're actually someone who has grown as a person, and if you have been through recovery through past situations, maybe people are still assuming and judging harsh things about you, which I feel like they very well could be. They could just be, you know, some people, plain and simple, just don't want to see you succeed or get better and go forward with life. Some people may just be artificial with you. Quite honest, I'm seeing there's one person or a couple of people in particular that may wish for your downfall, literally, and don't want to have you have control of your own life. But anyways, as far as what people have wrong about you, people think that you might not care deep down inside either, which I feel like is not true. I feel like you guys are a giver, and I feel like you can almost even give too much of yourself and maybe not even set those boundaries. And I feel like, because this beggar came out in reverse, so this would be like someone who would take. I feel like you guys just give, but people have a misunderstanding of you that maybe you could be someone who, again, is just very aloof. We're going to get one more card here, and then we'll jump into your runes. So this has been a really confusing, quite reading. We're going to get this last card. For your true self, you are showing up as the Star card. So what misconceptions do people have about you? Definitely whatever they see on social media kind of gives people the wrong idea about you. I feel like you're pretty personal about your life, honestly. So that could be why people don't know what to quite think of you, because maybe they see an inconsistent posting on social media. So also with the star card being Aquarius, there is a lot of airy, water, fantasy, kind of aloof energy that people assume of you, and they think that that kind of wandering energy is what gets you into certain kind of predicaments, or maybe a lot of drama, and maybe you just find yourself in the same situations as always, and maybe you've recovered from something of your past, or maybe you have been a part of some drama, and I feel like people might have seen that. But I feel like people do also see your innocence as well. Like, they might just think, oh yeah, you put yourself in that situation, but it's almost like they know that you're kind of the person to get in that kind of situation, if that makes sense. We are going to jump into the runes. I'm not too sure if I'm feeling this energy reading. I feel like Spirit's trying to answer different questions other than the one at hand. So we're going to get some runes, take a look at what kind of misconceptions do people have about collective number 4. What do people have wrong when it comes to your collective number 4? I was just outside. My nose is running. So I wanted to grab the crystal. And we also have a single rune out here. I don't know the technical terms yet. I'm still learning. What do people have wrong about collective number 4? Okay. So people really don't understand just how intuitive, how deeply spiritual you are. And I feel like I was picking that up here with that. To become one in the simplicity out here is a balance of the masculine and feminine, and really not overcomplicating things. And I feel like just because you are so grounded, but yet if you find yourself in any kind of dilemmas, it's like you're always so steadfast in those situations because you do know who you are. I feel like you guys are very withdrawn inward kind of people. I feel like you're very private people. I feel like you've gone through a lot of spiritual refinement, maybe out in public, so people can know about your downfalls or they can know about your upcomings. Either way, I feel like you guys have a solid knowledge, though, about who you are deep down inside. And even other people see that. Even people that have their misconceptions about you, they're still seeing you as the star. People see you as very successful, very bright, very brilliant. You have a spiritual, like a mystique kind of draw to you. I feel like this 4 of Wands recovery energy is very well put. There's kind of like a Solaris kind of effect, and then the moon in the middle. Which is, again, that balance of light and dark, the masculine and feminine. And I feel like you make it look so easy. And misconceptions people may have of you is that you never ask for help, that you might be stuck up a little bit. Maybe you always want more than what you have or what you can't have. Maybe you make things seem so easy to people, but yeah, they might think that maybe you can't relate to them, or maybe you can't put yourself in other people's shoes. But I feel like that's definitely not the case. Again, these are misconceptions, what people have wrong about you. So this is exactly what you are. You could definitely be spiritual. Hello. We'll get a couple more. What do people have wrong about collective number 4? So we have S and O. At least that's what it looks like. We have sorry out here, S-O-R-I, sorry, Corey. We also have, I don't know, there's like a lot of words you could spell with this, or at least like partial words, but I had S-O. And I feel like that pertains to significant other. I feel like people could, again, this could go back to relationships, or maybe people think that you've put yourself in the same situation over and over again. Maybe you don't know what it is that you want when it comes to relationships. People could think that you don't know what you want. Maybe you don't know who you are or your sexual preferences yet, and you could be like trying to explore that spectrum, and maybe you aren't so sure yet, and people could be making misconceptions about that, that maybe you're just doing that to draw attention to yourself or just to be extra, so to say. But I feel like really you're just trying to open up yourself to like new communities or new opportunities, and I feel like you're not really, again, there's like kind of a sense of no boundaries in a good way. Like you're open to a lot of new experiences. People could misperceive that as, again, being that aloofness or just trying to draw in any kind of romantic partners or fantasies or attention. And I feel like there is a sense of seclusion as well, a misconception that people may have had about you in the past. I feel like there's also this loner, this lone type energy where maybe you were also denied of being a part of a group. So people could have like secluded you and then you could have grown up after as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting with those. I literally did my best with this reading. It was a really hard topic. The messages came through really odd. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. This was top voted for those who subscribed. So if you do subscribe, you can actually vote on what videos I post next. And you can also get sweet discount codes for personalized readings that I do offer here on my channel. So if that is something that interests you, all the goodies are in the description box. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.